Hey, it's me, Jazzy. Months ago, I actually checked every single mod for Baldur's Gate 3 up until patch 7. I did not check anything post it, because that's the whole point. We're making a snapshot of how the modding community used to be before the advent of the modding tools. However, the script is very long, so I'm taking my time editing it all out. We've already checked all the races, appearance, classes, and Bonga Banana's f***ing weird mods, as well as spells, equipment, cut content, and essential mods. And finally, we have arrived at the end, the last video, the last mod section we have to review. Now, this isn't going to be a mod review channel long term, just to be clear, but do like and subscribe if you like the cut of my jet. Let's get to it. Reshades are usually mostly actually crap, either oversaturated or washed out, and always with way too much bloom. Still, they are an integral part of modern modding, so we have to look at them. Baldur's Gate does not have a dedicated reshade mod, rather most reshades use a generic 2 to apply their alterations. The installation of it is very simple, just download the thing, then text the appropriate executable, then select the right API for BG3, meaning DirectX, then load the ini file from the shader you have downloaded, and voila! I was actually surprised by some of these shaders, honestly. Also, all parameters of the shaders can be altered via this in-game interface, so keep that in mind if you dig some of these but think they need minor adjustments. Let's start off with some of that good darkness, appropriate for a Dirge playthrough. The gritty gate is exactly what it sounds like. If you want BG3 to be a bit edgier, I think this shader definitely does that without being too much, but while being much. Not my cup of black tea, but might be yours. Where's the sun gone? Now comparing this shader, Somber Skies, to the last one, yeah, I'd say this one is definitely too much. I can barely f***ing see myself. Somber indeed. Now, to counter the dark, let's add some light. Radiant Gate. Now this is the kind of bloom and contrast hell I've become accustomed to from Skyrim. Good to see the old traditions being kept alive. Pick this if you want the game to look more like a dream, and if you think interiors just aren't dark enough and exteriors are just not blinding enough. Cherry Skies is very saturated and vibrant. Probably too much for some, but might be exactly what others are looking for. I dig it. Though personally, I think tuning some of these values down just a bit would make it better. BG3 could use some more color. Now, here's a crazy thing. We have cell shading cartoony shaders, and I kind of really dig them. Cartoon Reshade preset. I mean, look at this. Do I have to say anything? This looks awesome. I had no idea something like this was even possible. Like, it's amazing just because of how absurd it is alone. And again, I really dig it. Borderlands Gate 3 Lamal. I wanted to make it even more similar, but I failed. Aw, buddy. No, you did a great job. No, seriously, I really f***ing love this. It's so cool and different. Now, our second toon shader, Dragon and Dungeons, is meant to call back to old animated fantasy films. And the colors do actually remind me a lot of the old D&D show. Now, the only problem with both of these shaders is that the contours they add somehow also affect the UI. Actually, a lot of things that the shaders change do also affect the UI, by the way. It's really weird. But the contours in particular make the UI readability actually a bit worse, which is a damn shame because, again, I really like them. Still, cool as heck. Okay, let's end the shader segment by looking at some more subdued shaders. Less intense or stylized stuff. Shaders that want to just improve the vanilla experience and not create something completely new. Clarity Reshade. This one is just a slight alteration that comes in two forms. One that maintains the original game's warm tone, and one that changes it to a cooler tone. Both variations increase the game's contrast and make the colors a bit less washed out. Definitely one of the more subdued ones, and I think an overall improvement color-wise to the original game. Now, for Dynamic Reshade, I'll just read you the description. Corrected colors, vibrance, black levels, removed ugly green tint, nice. And yeah, it does all that. Lucid, a minimalist reshade. Minimalist indeed, this one adds a tint to counteract the game's own slight tint, again. But while looking at it, I actually thought that it was a bit too washed out. But the thing is, it isn't, it's just that the previous shaders I was looking at were so freaking intense that by comparison it just felt that way. But no, it's actually pretty good. Or at least better than the main game. Now, there's definitely a pattern on these last ones here, right? Just a lot of people removing the f***ing tint and washed out appearance of the original game, huh? And if you hadn't noticed those things before, now you do, and it's gonna bother the heck out of you. But hey, the fix is just a few clicks away. Alright, let's chill out for a second and let's appreciate a simpler type of mod. One that changes something very small, but also very ever-present in the game. Or D20. I don't know about you, but I'm sick of that old thing. I want some new, shiny, click-clack math rocks. First up is the Solemn Stained Glass Dice. Comes in two colors and is perfect for clerics and paladins. Iridescent Pearl dice reflects all the colors of the rainbow and looks oh so shiny. And another iridescent dice is Metallic Iridescent Dice, which looks so cool with the way the material reflects and plays around with the colors. The 20 is also the BG3 logo, I think? I can't quite tell, to be honest. Click-clack, more like split-splat. You really gotta get in the bloody mood for the Dirge playthrough, and this Dirge dice is perfect for that, with a nice Blood Moon for a 20 and a Skull for a 1. Magic Peculiar Dice offers a selection of very pretty dice. The solid gold one is a personal favorite of mine, but just like IRL, those cool crystal semi-translucent ones are also awesome. There's also some cool dice for nice frames, from the stately to the zany, cool wibbly wobbly magical goodness. There are also dice themed around fire and so on, lots of options here. Crystal Collection is a small handful of crystal math rocks, reads the description of this mod. Unlike the last set, these dice are way more opaque and less vibrant crystal math rocks. I also like the fun in the numbers. Dice Rainbow Dark is... Dice Rainbow Dark. Doing a frosting character, a cryomancer, maybe a white dragonborn, ice dice will fit you perfectly, besides also just looking dope. You walk into a dungeon, but you can't hear sounds all around you, slithering, crawling, vile. What do you fireball? The answer is Fireball. The answer is always Fireball. If I asked you about bandits holding villagers hostage, the answer would still be Fireball, so here it is, Fireball dice. For the only right answer. I love Drow, so here's some Underdark dice that are perfect for them. For the 20 is a moon for the Seldarine, and for the 1 is a spider for the Dark Seldarine. You know, loaf and all that goodness. This next mod makes your dice honest by turning your 1s into fuck me, and 20s into fuck you. It also comes in several aesthetics, so you have a lot of choices to choose from. Aurora Borealis is one of the best looking dice on this list, I think. I just love the colors and how they blend. Our last mod is the Marvelous Dice set with 2 cool ass Monster Eye dice, 2 very elegant ones, and 1 baby's first edgy die. It is absurd and a scandal that Karlach is not featured in the promotional image of the game. What do you mean the best girl is nowhere to be seen? Well, now we can correct this, however. That's it. That's the mod. This is not meant to be an insult, but Asterion fans kind of have that middle-aged romance novel woman energy, and this here is peak middle-aged woman energy. And I'm all here for it. You can wear the Phantom suit yourself, though the mask was made to fit Asterion's face type, so that's something to keep in mind. And you can also play the Phantom's Fiend. That's it. Do you sometimes wish that BG3 was like another game entirely? Well, some people do. So let's explore those combos of mods. Okay, so what if BG3 was Dragon Age? First, we have the Origins font mod, which I think actually looks amazing here. Definitely has more personality than BG3's standard font. In terms of equipment, all we have here is Fenris's armor, or rather a mix of other armors that are inspired by Fenris's armor. But to help with your cosplay, we can get Fenris's tattoos as well, with Dragon Age tattoos. This mod also had tattoos from other Dragon Age characters like Meru and Zevran. And this is not even the only Dragon Age tattoo mod around. There's a bunch, which makes sense because that series always had great tattoo designs, probably because of the Valsins and stuff. Still on Zevran, we have his beautiful body tattoos available. We also have the intimidating Qunari face tattoos, and finally, Hawk's iconic blood swipe. Okay, for our next game, which technically isn't a game, it's a mod, but it might as well be a game and the role. We surprisingly have 2 mods here from 2 people who never moved on from it. Andro menu music overhaul, and Andro font replacer. But to be honest, I don't actually really like this one. It's just the font for Andro is not that great. And let's just move on, because if I think too hard about the fact that we're never getting a follow-up for Andro, I'm gonna cry. So let's move on from games to actual play series. Critical Role is the obvious first choice, but not only because it's popular, but because some of the extra material for the TTRPG is extremely popular even outside of the setting, because Matthew Mercer knows what he's doing.
Seem to shiver and quiff.
And yeah, I'm of course first talking about the Blood Hunter. If you don't know the class, it's about doing damage by using your blood to give yourself powerful buffs and your enemies powerful debuffs. It also comes with 2 subclasses, the Ghost Slayer, which is self-explanatory, and the Hybrid, which lets you become a werewolf. Next, we have 2 fighter subclasses. First, the Exandrian Gunslinger, aka the Percival the Rolo Macintosh Funny Pants Gobblesnapper III Special. The class is extremely simple. It's a ranged fighter that revolves around your trick shots, which are bonus action buffs to your attacks that utilize the Grit resource. There are 9 different trick shots you slowly gain as you level up. Next, we have the Echo Knight Fighter subclass. I won't showcase this one visually in the game because again, I'm on patch 6, and this mod has changed a lot since that patch was around. It's way better now, so I feel like showing you the old version would be a disservice to it, but overall, the mod works exactly like it does in the TTRPG. You summon an echo of yourself, you can switch places with it, you can attack, etc. And the mod just really looks good and complete visually, with cool icons and this cool effect on the echo. Definitely grab it. Now let's talk about something for the Critical Role series itself, the Vestiges of Divergence. This mod adds the classical legendary items showed in the Vox Machina campaign with their item effects. They also increase in power once you reach certain levels, unlocking more of their abilities so that they aren't too overpowered right out of the gate. The Baldur's Gate? This is my video, do whatever dumb joke I f***ing want. Fuck you. Now, the models of the items themselves are just some generic ones from the game, sadly. So it's nice to just dagger all the way through. There's also a mod with Craven Edge that I couldn't get to work, so there you go. Next up is Dimension 20, which only has one mod to speak of. Adain's Furious Fist allows you to unleash the kind of extreme inner rage only an anxiety-ridden child could directly onto the face of your most hated foes. It's, really powerful. You use a spell, and for the duration of it, you can attack with a bonus action using your fists, and for the damage, it's a D20, just like in the show, so, you know. Aside from that mod, I guess you can also get these guitar mods and pretend to be Fig or something. There's 3 guitar mods, one of them being an axe from the Doomslayer that doubles as both an instrument and a weapon, and another called Guitars that has 3 new guitars that also change the tune of the lute instrument so that they do actually sound like real guitars. And there's another guitar by the same author, which, well, you can have a look at it yourself. Yeah, it's a flesh guitar. Dirge's flesh guitar, to be precise. Jesus. Okay, so here's some stuff I was supposed to put in previous sections, but couldn't for video making logistic reasons. If you haven't watched the VAs of the companions playing the tabletop game, you should! Doubly so now that Bing Bong has been officially canonized with the Bing Bong Summon mod, and with Karlach's Animal Training mod, which all reference things that happened during those sessions. Veils are awesome. They look sexy, mysterious, and just straight up cool. Veils of Faerun adds a variety of veils to character creation, and they even have gravity enabled. Not only that, they're compatible with every race. Can you believe it? They do use the Teowen or Beard's Life, just so you know. There's also even an optional passive you can download that automatically removes veils during romance scenes, to avoid all the possible clipping. Just an all-around incredible mod, one of the best IMO. Bugbear's Vigor. The wearer is permanently hastened, applies wet when armed attack damage for a short time. Equipping or removing the ring causes lethargy for a short time. The peddler of this trinket must have made exaggerated claims about everlasting stamina and libido, but at what cost? This is the mod Ring of Lube. Do you prefer when things are small and manageable rather than massive and unwieldy? Think size is overrated? A fan of small packages? Look, I know there's a lot of penis mods, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this one mod. I only got one question for you. Oh, thou nasty? Yeah, you are. So here are some booty shorts for you. I don't think this works anymore, didn't for me, but you know, look at this. How could I not mention it? So, this was the last modern video. What's the verdict of the modern scene then? Well, there has never been a worse hive of scum and villainy. A godless environ made up of horny perverts, detail freaks, math nerds, cheaters, and basic girlies. And by God, I wouldn't have it any other way. Except for that white wheel guy and the one that tried to remove all gay people. Fuck those guys. Ultimate was very successful. A lot of the modern Avenger mythos even comes from it. But what political edge he had eventually blunted and it just became cheap shock value, which Marvel Editorial doubled down on as a vibe mandate if you will, making the Ultimate comics be consistently very unpleasant. There was cannibalism, incest, and just a lot of yuck. This all culminated on Ultimatum, one of comics' most infamous events, which killed and violated many characters and left the Ultimate Universe struggling along with a severe storytelling and financial limp it never recovered from.